Advice 1. You step into a room scented with fresh coffee and polite laughter, and there they are, smiling so brightly you'd swear the sun has moved indoors. Before you grab a pen and paper, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if the advice and strategies resonate with you. You feel the warmth wrap around you like a cashmere scarf, soft and welcoming. Yet somewhere beneath that texture lurks a stiffness, a hidden wire pulling at the seams. In under 10 seconds, the mask of false warmth unveils itself. Niccolo Machiavelli reminds us, men in general judge more from appearance than from reality. And so your eyes judge this radiant greeter immediately. They lean in with perfect posture, too perfect, as if rehearsed. Their laugh is just the right length. Their compliments land like carefully placed chess moves. It stings. How can genuine kindness demand so much performance? Imagine you're in a modern office setting, meeting a new colleague who lavishes praise in their latest project. They fawn over every detail, and you bask in a glow until they ask for a small favor. That's when a mask slips. Why so sweet, so quick to applaud? Because they want to borrow your deck of contacts, your latest insights, maybe even your credibility. Does that familiarity feel earned or cleverly bought? You might laugh softly at the irony. Who wouldn't love an instant fan club? But isn't it odd to feel both flattered and oddly wary at the same time? Your intuition prickles, telling you something's off. In 10 seconds, you've assessed a mistake in tone and timing, warmth weaponized. As you sip another gulp of that metaphorical coffee, note the patterns. False warmth relies on volume over depth, like a smile stretched too wide to mask the hollowness beneath. You see it at trendy networking events where attendees hug like long-lost friends and gush about each other as LinkedIn updates, only to vanish when a real work begins. You joke yourself, is this a meetup or a support group audition? But the joke stings because the false warmth can cost you time, energy, even reputation. How do you protect yourself? First, pause. Don't let your heart gallop at their enthusiasm. Observe their eyes. Do they linger with genuine curiosity or dart around hunting for your reaction? Second, ask a question that tests depth. What part of my project excites you most? Notice if they can name specifics or revert to generalities. Third, trust the elegant simplicity of a balanced greeting. Warm enough to be human, reserved enough to be real. Remember, this isn't about rejecting kindness. It's about spotting performance. Ever thought you were making a new friend, only to find a friend requested your entire network? That sting of betrayal teaches you. Next time, look past the shine. In these 10 seconds, no grand speeches are needed. Just your eyes, your intuition, and a quiet question to yourselves. Is this warmth earned or rented? Then you move forward, carrying both caution and curiosity, ready to see beyond every mask. You shift in your seat, recalling the warmth you just dissected, and now your attention drifts to their eyes. In this hushed, tactile moment, you sense the air thicken, like candlelight flickering over polished marble. Machiavelli cautioned, everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. That wisdom whispers across centuries, guiding you to watch the gaze that tells truth or illusion. In real time, your new acquaintance meets your eyes, or so it seems. Their stare lingers, unblinking, like a spotlight trained on a solo performer, or they flicker away, darting like startled birds. Both extremes ringing along. True connection carries the gentle ebb and flow of curiosity. Hollow eye contact feels rehearsed, mechanical, as if calibrated by a silent script. Picture this in a modern setting, a video call with a potential client. Their camera framing is impeccable, their centered eyes locked on yours. Yet you notice something odd. Their pupils never shift, never glance at notes, never break to breathe. It feels uncanny, like you're addressing a mirror programmed to nod on cue. It's almost hilarious. Are they secretly auditioning for a robot sitcom? But beneath the humor, you feel a stir of unease. Why is this important? Because in 10 seconds, the way someone looks at you reveals intention. Do they seek to dominate the conversation, to pry and probe, or to hide behind a mask of control. A genuine participant lets their gaze wander to your lips when you speak, to your hands as you gesture, perhaps to the coffee mug perched at your lip. They're human, so they breathe, blink, shift focus. You lean in, testing the theory. Ask a simple question. What excites you about this project? And watch their eyes. Do they skim the surface, flicking away as if hunting for you to answer quickly? Or do they hold softly, reflecting true engagement? This tiny test stands between partnership and performance. Ever felt trapped under someone's gaze, as though they were scanning barcodes on your thoughts? That's the hollow stare, a tool for control. They freeze you in place, edge you toward their narrative. And when they glance away too swiftly, pupils skittering like startled fish, they expose discomfort with sincerity. Like you've caught them rehearsing lines in a mirror. Practice your own rhythm. Let your gaze soften. Settle comfortably for 2 or 3 seconds, then shift. Notice how a real connection breathes. Then spot when it does not. Use humor to loosen the tension. Imagine you're in a spy thriller, and each blink is a coded message. Whether you're a cat being watched by a laser pointer. Equally absurd, equally revealing. By mastering this quick calibration, you preserve your boundaries. You'll smile back when warmth is real, and lean away when the gaze feels like an interrogation lamp. Next time someone insists on staring you down, you'll respond not with panic, but with playful curiosity. What secret are you hunting in my eyes? And in that second, you flip the script. Remember the mask of false warmth from Advice 1? Now you strip away the next layer. Eyes are the gateway to intent. Trust your instincts. Follow the flicker, and you'll see through any hollow gaze in under 10 seconds. You settle back, recalling how a fleeting gaze can betray a hidden agenda. And now you tune into the cadence of praise. In this soft spotlight moment, you feel a gentle buzz like fingertips brushing over silk. Machiavelli once observed, "He who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will let himself be deceived." Those words hum beneath your awareness as you listen to compliments that land heavier than fresh snow. In under 10 seconds, you detect the unbalanced compliments. They come in waves, too effusive, too precise, as if someone studied your strengths while you slept. You hear, "Your report was flawless. Your insights revolutionary. You're the only one who truly understands this market." You feel warmth, but also a tightening knot in your chest. Genuine praise nourishes. Manipulative praise ensnares. Picture yourself at a popular industry conference where new acquaintance lavishes grand declarations on your keynote skills. On stage, they extol your ideas to everyone within earshot. Later, they corner you in the coffee line to repeat them. You feel flattered until they slip in a request for an introduction to your top client. That surge of admiration recedes, leaving a hollow echo. Why so much praise so quickly? You smile politely, but inwardly you wonder, are they honoring you or owning you? Compliments should feel balanced, like a soft melody weaving through conversation. But unbalanced praise resembles a scream, too loud, too insistent. It signals an ulterior motive, a strategic investment in your ego to harvest your resources. Test for balance with a simple trick. After the initial compliment, ask for specifics. "Thank you. What part of my analysis resonated most with you?" If they can't recall details beyond "everything was perfect," you've caught them in a rehearsed performance. Real admirers cite the moment you linked data to emotion, the way your tone shifted, that anecdote about the startup founder. Those nuances matter. Everything else is theater. Ever paused mid-compliment, thinking, "This feels too good to be true"? That's your intuition raising a flag. Use humor to diffuse discomfort. Murmur under your breath, "Should I be worried or just flattered?" But don't dismiss the prickling sense. It shows you they're casting lines, baited with your own vanity. In modern scenarios, you'll notice this at virtual networking events. Someone scrolls through your profile, then fires off an avalanche of praise before your first hello. They praise your picture, your achievements, even your pet's cameo in your background. It's flattering until you realize they've barely listened. That's the unbalanced compliment, too broad to be authentic. By tuning into this pattern in 10 seconds, you reclaim control. You respond with measured curiosity. I appreciate that. What about my work on X stood out? Watch whether they can answer or default back to generalities. Genuine respect flows naturally. Manipulative praise rebounds into their own agenda. Remember how advice one stripped away false warmth? Now you peel back the layer of praise. Compliments should lift you, not tether you. When you catch that rush of unbalanced praise, pause, question, and probe. Then decide if you're being celebrated or sold. You lean in, still feeling the pulse of those unbalanced compliments. And now you become keenly aware of the temperature shifting like a sudden draft under a closed door. In this quiet moment, you sense the tone of subtle threats, a whisper cloaked in courtesy. Machiavelli wrote, "It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver," reminding you that an undercurrent of menace often wears the velvet glove of civility. In under 10 seconds, you register the chill beneath the words. Someone says, "I'd hate for anything to go wrong with your project," or, "I'm sure you wouldn't want to disappoint the team, would you?" Their voice lilts politely, yet carries a weighted pause, an unspoken or else. You feel the hairs rise on your neck. How polite to remind you of failure, as if they hold the remote to your success. Imagine a modern workplace scenario. During a team meeting, a colleague praises your timeline but hints, "Let's hope nothing unexpected pops up." On its face, it's supportive. You might joke, "Thanks, I'll schedule in a miracle." But beneath the mirth lies tension. That casual warning tightens your shoulders, reminding you who really controls the deadlines, and perhaps your reputation. Why does this matter? Because in 10 seconds, you can distinguish a genuine warning from a threat in disguise. A friend cautions, "Be careful with that legal clause," while a toxic operator murmurs, "I'd hate to see your career stumble over a detail like that." One seeks your well-being, the other seeks leverage. Can you feel the difference? You test the waters, reply with light irony. "Oh, should I be sweating now?" And watch their reaction. A true ally laughs and elaborates. "No, seriously, I'm just looking out." A predator stiffens or deflects, as if you've exposed their angle. That reaction, more than the words, reveals intent. Ever pause mid-conversation, mug halfway to your lips, thinking, did that comment just come with a side of intimidation? That instinct is your compass. Use it. Disarm them with a question. What exactly do you mean by that? Genuine interlocutors clarify. Manipulators retreat or recalibrate, tiptoeing around their hidden jab. In everyday life, you'll find this tactic in negotiations. Someone says, "I'd hate to drag this out in court," prompting you to concede. Or at family gatherings, where a cousin quips, "You wouldn't want grandma to worry," right? Subtle threat. They own the leverage, masked as concern. You might laugh it off, but you remember advice too about hollow eye contact. You saw their eyes flicker then. Now you connect the dots. By noticing the tone in 10 seconds, you reassert your power. A gentle reminder, threats thinly veiled are still threats. You respond not with panic, but with poised curiosity. "That's interesting. What's at stake if I don't?" That question flips the script, forcing clarity. If they stumble, you know their strategy falters. Remember how advice one revealed false warmth and advice three exposed hollow praise? Now you unmask veiled menaces. Each layer you strip brings you closer to truth. In your next encounter with that frosty compliment, you'll feel it in your bones, question it with a smile, and watch the thin veneer crack. You shift your weight, recalling the soft menace of veiled threats. And now you smooth your breathing to sense the gentle echo of your own gestures in another's movements. In this hushed moment, you notice the mirroring without empathy, a reflection so precise it feels like staring into a funhouse mirror of intent. Machiavelli reminds you, men who wish to deceive often find a companion in those who allow themselves to be deceived. Here, that companion is your own body language, mimicked but void of genuine feeling. In under 10 seconds, you spot this subtle choreography. They tilt their head exactly as you do, match your smile to the millisecond, and adopt your posture with uncanny precision. Yet when you share something personal, their expression remains flat. An almost imperceptible lag betrays their lack of real concern. You sense the performance, like someone playing back your highlights on loop, edited to perfection but stripped of context. Imagine a modern cafe encounter. As you stir your latte, they stir theirs in synchrony. You lean forward, they lean forward. You pause mid-sentence, and so do they. It's comforting until you reveal a worry about a looming deadline. Their face stays frozen in that mirrored calm, offering no reliefs, no nod of understanding, no softening in the eyes. It's as though they're mimicking a dance without feeling a beat. Why does this matter? Because in 10 seconds, mirroring can persuade you of kinship, but without empathy, it's a tool of manipulation. A real friend's reflection carries warmth. You feel concern in their frown, relief in their exhale. A toxic actor's mimicry remains clinically precise, like a wax museum figure polished to seduce. Have you ever felt the chill when someone mirrors your grief without a tear? Test the authenticity with a simple shift. Slow your movement or change your posture noticeably. Drop your shoulders, uncross your arms. Watch if they follow. A genuine mirror adjusts gradually and with emotional resonance. A fake mirror snaps into place with eerie precision. Then, share something small, a light joke or a personal anecdote, and see if their expression shifts naturally or stays locked on imitation mode. You recall advice too, where hollow eye contact felt like a program spotlight. Now, this mirrored spotlight follows your every move, reflecting form but not substance. You might even crack a wry smile and think, should I bow or curtsy next? That joke lightens the moment, but underneath, you notice the hollow performance that craves your trust through mimicry. In today's digital age, you'll find this on video calls more than in person. Picture someone mirroring your head nods perfectly in Zoom. So perfect it feels robotic, and yet they can't recall what you just said. That's mirroring without memory, without meaning. They match your energy but drain your confidence, leaving you wondering if they're friend or echo. By noticing this tactic in 10 seconds, you safeguard your authenticity. You respond with a subtle shift, perhaps a playful head tilt or a pointed question. You nod a lot. What stood out for you? A genuine listener smiles with their eyes. A mirror cracks under that spotlight, revealing the hollow glass behind the performance. Remember how advice for unmasked subtle threats hidden in polite tones. Now you strip away the reflection to reveal the emptiness beneath. Each layer you peel back, from false warmth to hollow praise, veiled warnings to mimicry, brings you closer to truth and further from the snares of manipulation. You breathe out the residue of mirrored motions and now turn inward, feeling a prickling in your chest as they zero in on your insecurities. In this charged pause, you recognize they overfocus on your flaws, a tactic that spots your weak spot and hammers home with precision. Machiavelli mused, "He who is the cause of another's misery is capable of anything," and a toxic person wields your self-doubt as a weapon disguised in concern. In under 10 seconds, you sense the pivot. The conversation veers toward your flaws, subtle yet unmistakable. The coworker notes, "I'm worried you might not meet that tight deadline. Remember last quarter?" Or a friend remarks, "You've been looking stressed. Maybe this new challenge is too much." Their tone is soft, but the message stings. You're inadequate, fragile, teetering on collapse. You feel the weight of their gaze, a diagnostic stare hunting for cracks. Imagine a modern scenario. During a performance review, your manager says, "Your presentation was good, but your confidence seemed shaky. Are you sure you're ready for the lead role?" Their words drip with faux support, yet you feel a shove, not a lift. That shove leverages your self-doubt, guiding you toward their desired outcome. Maybe extra training, maybe a demotion, maybe a silent resignation. You laugh weakly, "Sure, I'll work on it." But inside, you wonder if you've just agreed to sabotage. Why does this matter? Because in 10 seconds, overfocus disarms you. It pulls your guard toward a phantom weakness where they operate unchecked elsewhere. Real mentors highlight strengths and guide improvement. Manipulators spotlight flaws and steer you into dependency. Have you ever felt that sinking thought? Maybe they're right. I'm not good enough. Test their intent with a quick mental inventory. Is this feedback balanced with actionable praise or purely diagnostic? Genuine concern, offer solutions. Let's create a step-by-step plan to build your confidence. A toxic operator leaves you holding the problem, no tools in hand. Then, ask a clarifying question. What part of the presentation felt shaky to you? If they cite specifics versus vague generalities, you gauge support. If they dance around, you've caught the tactic. You recall advice freeze, unbalanced compliments. Now the script flips. Instead of inflated praise, they offer deflated criticism. Both extremes lead you to the same trap, dependency on their approval, and that weakens your autonomy. You might crack a self-deprecating joke. Next time I'll perform at mine, so you don't have to worry about my voice. To lighten the mood, but keep your radar on. In today's digital realm, this tactic surfaces in online communities too. Someone remarks under your blog post, interesting ideas, but your writing style is amateurish. You feel exposed, your heart sinks, and you scroll down desperately searching for saving compliments. That over-focus on your flaw hooks you, even as other readers applaud. Why do we let one critical note outweigh 100 praises? By spotting this tactic in 10 seconds, you reclaim your narrative. You respond with balanced acknowledgement. Thanks for noticing. I'll refine that section. What did you find strongest? That question redirects attention to strengths and solutions, breaking their control. If they resist, you recognize it as a power play, not genuine care. Remember advice 5's hollow mimicry and advice 4's gentle threats? Now you strip away the diagnostic layer that zeroes in on your weaknesses. Each layer fades and you stand clearer, stronger, free from the toxic spotlight. You lean back, feeling the echo of personal boards from advice 6 still humming in your mind. And now you tune into the rhythm of the conversation itself. In this intimate space, you detect the abrupt topic shifts, a sudden pivot so jarring it leaves you reeling like a record skipping on an unexpected note. Machiavelli warned, "He who becomes powerful by cunning strategy always lives in fear," reminding you that sidestepping accountability is often the driving motive behind these swift detours. In under 10 seconds, you sense it. One moment you're discussing deliverables, the next they're raving about a weekend getaway or an offhand opinion on pineapple pizza. The air shimmers, your thread of thought snaps, and you're chasing a moving target. Their voice carries ease, but you feel disoriented, like someone switched the soundtrack mid-scene. Imagine a modern team call. You raise concerns about missed milestones, and they respond by asking, "Did you see that crazy dance trend on TikTok?" You blink twice, wondering if you've accidentally joined a social media brainstorming session. The shift is so smooth, you almost applaud, but then you realize you've lost your moment to clarify critical issues. Are they avoiding scrutiny or just auditioning for a late-night comedy bit? Why is this tactic so effective? Because in 10 seconds, it dissolves focus. You chase side roads while the main highway slips away. In advice, till you learn to read the hollow gaze. Here you learn to read the change of scenery. A genuine collaborator acknowledges your thread and either weaves it forward or states why it must pause. A manipulator diverts, leaving you tangled in tangents. You test their intent with a gentle anchor. That sounds fun. Can we park that thought and circle back after? Notice if they agree and set a time to return, or if they breeze past your request, switching gears again. Real partners respect the anchor. Sidesteppers surf the distraction waves. Ever felt that tingle of frustration when your query vanishes down a rabbit hole? That's your mind calling for clarity. Use humor to reset. Quip, was that a plot twist? Or did we miss a cue? Their reaction reveals whether the shift was playful or predatory. In everyday life, abrupt shifts happen at dinner tables too. A relative dodges your question about family finances by launching into a monologue about the weather. You laugh, nice save, but you feel the scramble to reclaim the conversation. like chasing a runaway balloon. That scramble leads you toward their narrative, not yours. By noticing this pattern in 10 seconds, you equip yourself with a conversational compass. You guide the dialogue back to your topic with poise, preventing them from hijacking your agenda. Remember advice 1's false warmth and advice 5's hollow mirroring? This is the next layer, disarming you through distraction, not praise or mimicry. Next time someone veers off track, you hold firm. Let's finish this thread before we switch to dessert. You call it dessert humor intentionally, light but firm. That breaks the jarring pivot, bringing you back to substance. In this continuous narrative, each advice builds on the last. Unmasking warmth, gaze praise, threat, mimicry, criticism, and now distraction. With these 7 layers peeled back, you're nearly at the core. You draw a slow breath, tracing each layer you've unveiled so far. And now you attune to the faintest echo of accountability, or rather, its absence. In this serene moment, you sense the invisible accountability at work, an artful dodge that vanishes any ownership as quickly as mist under sunlight. Machiavelli taught, it is necessary for a prince wishing to hold his own to know how to do wrong, reminding you that evading responsibility is a cunning strategy of the powerful. In under 10 seconds, you detect it. They say mistakes happen, or we all share the blame, slipping away from specifics. Your project stalls, your question lingers, and no one claims the misstep. You feel the frustration settle in your bones, like an unanswered echo in a cathedral. Responsibility dissolves into collective air. Imagine a modern startup meeting. A product launch flops due to a flawed marketing plan. When you ask who approved the strategy, they shrug. Oh, the team decided collectively. You recall advice 7 about abrupt topic shifts. It's a similar sleight of hand, but here the trick is diffusion. They scatter culpability across the group so no individual can be pinned. You joke, great teamwork. Everyone's to blame, so no one's to blame, but it's a bitter laugh. Why does this matter? Because in 10 seconds, you gauge whether someone stands by their words or slips behind a veil. Real leaders own their missteps. I approve that timeline, and I'll fix it. Toxic operators vanish in a pronouns. It got delayed. Mistakes happen. We'll circle back. Have you ever felt that prick of anger when a vague apology leaves you holding the bag? Test for clarity with a direct request. Who will take point on resolving this? A genuine partner names themselves or someone specific. The evasive responder replies, let's all chip in, or dodges with, I'll follow up, and then does it. That non-answer echoes advice 4's subtle thread, advice SXS spotlight on flaws, combined into a strategy that deflects guilt and preserves control. You remember advice 1 through 7, false warmth, hollow eye contact, unbalanced praise, veiled threats, hollow mirroring, flaw focus, abrupt shifts. Now you see how the narrative closes loops by refusing to close them. Invisible accountability undermines trust faster than any overt attack. In digital forums, this shows up when an influencer's fundraiser overshoots, and they blame platform issues rather than their own miscalculations. Or in daily life, a partner forgets a promise and says, we both forgot, as if your memory carries equal weight. You feel the sting. Your concerns dissolve by shared blame. By spotting this tactic in 10 seconds, you reclaim your power. You respond with gentle firmness. Let me confirm who's handling this by Friday. If they name someone, onward you go. If they deflect, you know the pattern and adjust your expectations. You'll guard your time, your resources, and your trust accordingly. As you exhale, you realize you've peeled back 8 layers of illusion. Each advice has sharpened your vision, from masks to misdirection, until now you see the final trick. Responsibility hidden in plain sight. Slow your breath. Let the tension drift away as you connect these threads of insight. You've journeyed through masks of false warmth, hollow stares, unbalanced praise, veiled threats, mimicry, hypercritical focus, abrupt diversions, and now invisible accountability. Each exposes a facet of manipulation and arms you with a quick, 10-second litmus test. Remember, awareness is your strongest shield. Curiosity, your compass. If these strategies resonated, share your experiences below. Your stories strengthen us all. Lean into this knowledge gently, apply it with compassion, and refine your mind's radar. Thank you for listening so closely and for letting these ideas settle in. Watch out for the masks around you. Stay hungry for knowledge. See you in the next video.